Well, it's Easter Sunday. How y'all doing? My name is Jared Fuller. Today is Sunday, April 21st, 2019. Last week I had given the wrong year. It's not 2018 anymore. It hasn't been for about 5 months or so. Today is Sunday, April 21st, 2019. It is Easter Sunday. Joining me off camera this week, Dad and Amy.
Howdy.
And we have Easter dinner currently being cooked and prepared. And I wanted to come on real quick just to give everybody an update on how things are going. So my stepdad is back in the hospital again. He's currently there, so he's going to miss out on Easter, which is a real bummer that he would have to miss Easter this year, being stuck in the hospital.
Couldn't have no meat.
He can't have any meat. He's on a strict, it's a temporary vegan diet until further notice, because I think he's got to have surgery. Potentially, he'll have to have surgery. But he's in the hospital, so keep him in your thoughts if you would, please. It's been a long week. I went on a joyride yesterday. I ended up in Vassar and Millington and Saginaw and Bay City and Midland and back home again, and there were a bunch of other towns in between that I had passed through. And then I ended up in Owasso last night because that's where my stepdad is. And I also wanted to send out a couple of happy birthday wishes. Today, a Wilms Warrior brother named Camden from New York turns the big 10. So happy birthday. Happy birthday, Camden. Love you. And my cousin Felicia, she turns 33 today. So,
Happy birthday, Felicia.
yeah, happy birthday, cuz. I hope you have a wonderful birthday, and I hope you eat plenty of food on this Easter Sunday. But we have a nice shank ham cooking in the stove. Dad said the ham was falling right off the bone.
Yeah, I cooked
So
it. Started at 4 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, he started at 4 o'clock this morning. Dad ended up peeling the potatoes, but I'm going to do the rest.
Oh, okay, well. Whatever.
So leave it to me. I'm going to make deviled eggs too. We have eggs, right? I think you said we have like 3 dozen or 2 or 3 dozen. We don't have an egg shortage here. But it's been a busy week. It's been a good week.
Thanks to my friend Greggy.
Well, no, that was last week.
Give us the eggs today.
Oh,
Give us those eggs.
Oh, okay. So our buddy Greggy had given us those eggs. So thank you, Greg. They will come in handy because we love our deviled eggs, and now that I know how to make them, and it's really not hard. There's nothing to it. I thought it would be difficult. Not really. It's kind of between, like halfway between easy and medium on the scale of preparing treats. It's not really that hard. A 5-year-old could do it. Shit, Camden could do it, and he's only 10. But yeah, I did a quick video chat with Camden and his family this morning, and wished him a happy birthday. And they had a party for him yesterday because they didn't want to conflate parties between Easter and his birthday, so they celebrated his birthday yesterday, and then they're going to be celebrating Easter today. So yeah, that's it's funny because I don't even remember what I did this past week. Like last Saturday, I was at the ABC 12 Family Expo, but after that, it's like, what did I do? Oh, yeah, I know what I did. I arranged an appointment with Dr. Scott with his office. So on May 15th, I have an appointment to see Dr. Scott. It's more of a Q&A, not anything serious. I have questions about my battle with Wilms tumor, and hopefully he'll have the answers to those questions. So I'll be happy to see him on May 15th. The appointment's at 3 at the MSU Pediatric Subspecialties office, which is located in Lansing. It's on Michigan Avenue, just right across the street from Sparrow. It's next to the Herbert Herman Cancer Center. And I'm looking forward to seeing him. Last check, he was in Africa because he not only is a pediatric oncologist and hematologist, but he's also a professor. And he gives lectures around the world. And when I called,
very smart gentleman.
He's very intelligent. He's like the top of whatever pediatric oncology in my book, anyway. I would recommend him to anyone. And he's not the only one. He's not the only one. There's lots of wonderfully educated people in that field who are working around the clock tirelessly. saving the lives of children or working towards saving the lives of children. And Dr. Scott is one of them. And we also have, there's a pediatric oncologist at the Helen DeVos Children's Hospital in Grand Rapids. And there are kids who come from all over this country to go to Grand Rapids. And her name is Dr. Scholler. I have never met Dr. Scholler. Maybe one day I will get the opportunity of meeting her. I think it would be a distinct pleasure. But she is well known nationally. And I hope, I don't know if Dr. Scott has that much notoriety. I don't know if he's known nationally or around the United States, but it would be really awesome if he were. And I would be the first in line to give him an endorsement for the popularity of pediatric oncology and hematology, because he is like the best in my book. And everybody will say that about their pediatric oncologists because they work tirelessly and
Work together.
they work around the clock, and when they're not doing anything, their team of professionals are checking on things and they're monitoring things closely.
Even when they're not working, they're working.
Yeah, even
Sure.
they're just nonstop on the go. And Dr. Scott and Dr. Guerra and Dr. Kulkarni, I don't want to leave them out. But the appointment is set up to see Dr. Scott. I might see Dr. Guerra because she's still at in Lansing at the practice. We love our medical professionals who work day and night to ensure the welfare and well-being and health of children who are battling big fights. And speaking of childhood cancer and those alike, I want to remind all of you to visit GuideStar.org. GuideStar.org has a complete and comprehensive listing of all of the 501c3 nonprofit organizations and LLCs approved by the federal government of the United States of America. Don't be fooled, don't be duped. Visit GuideStar.org today. And I hear a train whistle. That must be the okay. Jared, you endorse GuideStar. There's a train whistle. That's the okay. No, it's actually on Amy's phone.
You got a text in from my brother, was all.
So how was your week, Amy? Long?
Long, but good.
Eventful?
Yeah.
Advantageous?
I found out Friday I got carpal tunnel in my wrist.
Carpal tunnel sucks.
Yeah.
Mine was stressful.
Stressful?
I'm always on the go.
And because of the fact that I've been using the right one's bothering me now.
Yeah.
I'm always on the go.
Yeah, I was headed towards Freeland yesterday. I was going up M47 Midland Road, and I was telling Dad about this, and I mentioned it on my Facebook page. I was because M47 is a double-laned road, and I was in the left lane, and in the right lane there was a truck hauling a old Chevy Impala on a flatbed trailer, and it was like a muscle car, like from the 60s, and it was gray. And it's like, wow, and the guy driving it kind of, he was smoking a cigarette, and he gave me the thumbs up, or he gave me an A-OK or the middle finger or something. I don't know. But anyway, I noticed it, and it was pretty cool. You can whisper, but they can still hear you. So
I know it.
I don't know what the whispering's for, but
it's a habit, I guess.
This is a Sunday video update. There's no whispering allowed. Whispering is off limits, woman.
Well, then I'll have to just watch what I say then. Huh?
Watch what you say, yeah.
Watch your P's and Q's and A's and F's.
Watch my P's and Q's? So does that mean don't swear and all that?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
No. We can use the fuck, but when it comes to certain things, no.
Well, I mean, that's why we hold that off until after or before I hit the record button. But yeah, so it's been a long week, and there's been all kinds of shit going on.
I found out my adopted mother is legally blind in one eye.
Well, that's not good.
And they've declared her blind now in her other eye.
Blind in one eye and can't see out the other.
That's terrible. That's nothing to joke about. That's really terrible.
And she's in her 80s.
Yeah, she's no spring chicken. And
no. she had aunts and all that lived until they were 100.
Mm-hmm.
So
100 years old. I wonder what the secret to longevity is. I would love to live to be 100 years old.
same here.
But then I think at some point, if I get so old to where I can't move and it hurts just to move even the slightest little bit, let me die gracefully. I don't want to, because I wouldn't be living. I would just be existing.
Yep.
And I want to live.
You know, I was just telling Dad the other day
Yeah.
that I feel for you
Why?
because
Oh,
you
feel
have
for me.
well on your mother's side.
Yeah.
You have only your mother.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with my mother being gone, I
Yeah.
know how you're feeling.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But then
it's the opposite.
like I was telling him, my mom was 66.
Young.
Now, it's scaring me that am I gonna turn 66 and be where she is today?
Well,
You never
and
know. You could turn 50, whatever you are now.
there's
no age limit.
I mean, we just, and not to,
And Kurt, I hope you get better, buddy.
yeah, our friend Kirk Harris is in the hospital, but not to take away from what you're saying, but just recently, a young boy who battled the IPG, his birthday had just come and gone, and this is their first Easter without him.
Yeah.
And my heart goes out to them. I love them tremendously, and that goes for anybody who loses a loved one. A child, I couldn't imagine.
I'm growing up.
Easter, the holidays that pertain to children, and you see the laughter and smile. You hear the laughter, see the smiles of the children. These holidays are the hardest.
Yeah.
And when you don't have loved ones.
Yeah, my mom's taking it really bad. This is my adopted mom.
Yeah.
This is her first year without my dad.
Yeah, it's a hard holiday. That's why, I try not to get my feet too close to the fire when it comes to sentiment, regarding holidays. I look at it as, okay, it's just another day. We're gonna have a nice meal. We're gonna have ham, mashed potatoes, deviled eggs.
We don't normally have every day.
But I try not to let the sentimental side of it get to me as much, because that's when the depression comes out, and that's when you think, gee, if only they were here. This is the first. But I had to mention that because there are a lot of parents whose children are not with us.
Yes.
And this is one of those holidays where you want to see your kids happy. The Easter egg hunts and the Easter baskets.
Yeah.
And you want to see them smile. You want to hear their laughter. And this is one of those holidays. My heart goes out to those families, and I feel terrible that they have to experience this first without their children. Or any holiday. It doesn't really necessarily matter if it's a first. It's just the fact that they're not with us on this particular day. And it's not just children. It's parents, mothers, brothers, fathers, sisters.
Sorry about that.
Man,
Hello.
They don't have rotary phones anymore.
Only on mine.
Yeah. That's the old ring from the old rotary phone. But this is a holiday where, one of those holidays where sentiment comes out. And it's not to take away from that, but I try to look at it as, okay, it's just another day, and we're just gonna have a nice dinner. But my heart goes out to those people. My heart really does go out to those people. It's hard. I stopped at Guitar Center when I was in Saginaw yesterday, and I was checking on some mics for my computer because I would like to upgrade a little bit and have better sound quality in my Sunday video updates. They have a box where they have the arm that comes down, the boom arm, with the mic, with the earphones, and it's USB compatible for $130, and that's cheap because just the mics alone. There is one mic there the microphone. It's called a Shure SM7B, I think. They want $400 for it. And then on top of dropping the $400 for the mic, you have to buy the extra components that will make it compatible to go with your computer, which additionally cost you another $100 and some $200. So you're talking $600-700 out the door. I don't want to spend that kind of money. I want something that will work. I don't have to spend a whole bunch of money. $130 is cheap compared to the other what I've been pricing. So I was looking into that, and I might get it, but I don't know if, for example, if the people listening now, I don't know if you'll be able to hear Dad and Amy speak if the mic is only focused on the person who's talking into it. So that would be something that I would have to consider, unless there are settings and adjustments where I can make it to where it picks up sound from the whole house or the room or whatever. But yeah, $130 is fairly cheap in comparison to how much they want just for the microphones alone. And the guy I was talking to yesterday at Guitar Center, he was really nice. I think he was the manager, and he suggested it. And because I was at the counter where they, you can buy mics and patch cords for electric guitars and amps and things like that. And I'd noticed it sitting on the back wall, and I said, a matter of fact, right there, that's what I'm looking for is a boom arm with a mic. And he says, yeah, $130. And I don't have the money today. I said, maybe next month or the month after, because I plan on doing some traveling and I need money for plane tickets and souvenirs and such. But you might see some changes in the Sunday video updates, because I'll be talking into a mic instead of just talking openly into a webcam, which the webcam cost me $50, but there's a wider angle, and I like it. I like the webcam. It's a little more high tech, and that's what I like. And I got this at Best Buy in Saginaw for $50. It is, I can give you the name. It's called Logitech HD 1080p. I think it's a Pro. But it doesn't say on the webcam itself. Doggone it. But that's a lot of blabbing. So you might see some changes in the Sunday video updates. But like I said, with you and Amy being in the room, I was trying to look into like getting a mic for you, like a wireless mic, so you guys could talk into it. But I don't know if I'd probably need a special interface to where you can plug it in, and then that goes into the USB on the computer, and then you and Amy can talk on the mics. But I don't know. I don't know how that works, because I don't think I need a special interface for the $130 setup that I was looking at. It's just a direct USB plug-in. I just don't want to get ripped off out of $130. I don't want to drive all the way to Saginaw, come all the way home just to find that it's not compatible with my computer. Then we would have a fucking problem, and then I'd have to. I don't know if I could get a refund because it's electronic. I don't think I can get a refund for that. Although I might be able to. I don't want to completely write it off. I don't know how their policies work. Well, that's Best Buy. They don't carry the things that Guitar Center carries.
You probably would. They'd have to have a warranty on it, sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they would, because I have no idea how they do that stuff. I haven't really looked into it a whole lot. There was a childhood cancer survivor who recently passed away. I saw this on Facebook. Her name was Loretta, and we had actually spoken on the phone once. And she was in her 50s. She is a childhood cancer survivor, and then she relapsed, and she had recently passed away over the weekend. So my thoughts and my love go out to Loretta's family. And you know, she was just an amazing person. I had spoken to her one time on the phone, just one time. And sometimes you can, you know, that's all it takes. One time you can speak to a person on the phone,
You can sense it.
and you can. We had a lot of things. We talked about a lot of things that actually mattered to the both of us, and we were in agreement. There was no discord anywhere in the things that we were talking about, which I thought was really really cool, and it was special. And so I had noticed on Facebook that she had passed away just recently. She was in her 50s. I think she was either 51 or 52. I don't know the exact age. But her name was Loretta, and I still have her cell phone number stored in my contacts. Um, but my love and my thoughts go out to her family, and I'm so sorry. I'm so terribly sorry for the loss. Um, it's hard. It's really hard. And I don't remember if I talked about this last week, but there was just the dumbest thing I've ever read on Facebook. Another one of those arrogant, indirectly affected advocates who like to spew off at their potholes and you know, say stupid shit on social media and open forums, and it's something to the tune of, just because you're not the captain of the ship doesn't mean you should sink it, or some stupid shit like that. So thank you for illustrating my point to a fucking T. Childhood cancer advocacy is not a competition. When people like you say stupid shit like that, you are making it as such. You are insinuating that childhood cancer awareness and advocacy is a competition. No, it's not. And for anybody to be so arrogant to say, well, just because you can't be the captain of the ship doesn't mean you get to sink it. Who said it was a ship? And who said that you were the captain? Who said that there was any captain?
Everybody's supposed to work together. That's where you come
That
together.
that was
to work.
my impression when I first started advocating and being a voice. I wanted to work among people, and I've said this any number of times. I want to work among people. I want to walk beside people. I don't want to be above or beneath anybody, and I'm not trying to put anyone else above or beneath myself. I want to work among people. And when you get jackasses like that who come on social media or anywhere, it doesn't matter where, and they say stupid shit like, "What? Just because you can't be the captain and you doesn't mean you get to sink the ship." Fuck that. There's no way. There is no such thing as let's hold certain people to higher standards. That's why on Facebook I have kind of turned it down a notch on saying anything related to childhood cancer, because I'm seeing the direction that it's taken. This competition, and it's usually the first people to stand up and say it's not a competition are the ones who are making it out to be that. I'm not trying to make it out to be a competition. I never did. And my impression has always been that I wanted to work among people. I wanted to work with people, not against people. And that kind of shit just blows my mind, how people can be so arrogant and so stupid to get on social media and say such repugnant shit like, well, just because you can't be the captain doesn't mean you get to sink the ship. Fuck you. It's not even like that. You know, we can agree on a lot of things. We can agree on you know, cures for childhood cancer. Shit, we can even agree on which flavor of yogurt is the best. But to say dumb things like that is asinine. There are no captains or valedictorians, and that's what I've been seeing on Facebook a lot lately. The fact that people are trying to make it about themselves all the time, and they shirt tail themselves onto these children who are sick, and there's a lot of exploiting happening, and it's stupid, and I want no part of it. That's why I always tell people, and I've even said it here, I've said it on Facebook, I've said it on YouTube, I want no part of groups. I want nothing to do with groups or associations or anything. You want to have a nonprofit organization, a legitimate nonprofit organization? Great. But to have these special groups and clubs and associations, no. No, that's where I draw the line. Because individually, I can do just as much and not have to put it on Facebook and get my kudos and pats on the back. Look at me, I'm so cute, aren't I? I'm so wonderful. No, when you take that avenue to where you have to constantly brag about what you do, you are in fact just making it not as special or as important. You are doing this solely and specifically for Facebook likes and notoriety and popularity to make up for lost time for what you weren't in high school. That's not what advocacy is. And someone said to me, well, who made you the arbiter of childhood cancer advocacy? I'm not the arbiter of anything. I'm saying that if you're going to be an advocate, whether you're indirectly affected or not, I guess I could put it more towards the indirectly affected people because they've never had to actually sit in a room and watch a child suffer and have to stay there 24 hours a day. So yeah, I'm going to put this on the indirectly affected. Check your ego at the fucking door before you even decide that you want to be an advocate, because I'm telling you, it's not about you. It's about the kids. And I think childhood cancer awareness advocacy and all that stuff, it has taken a shift away from the children. People can never do things in the world without putting it on social media and getting their congratulatory, aren't you so wonderful? And they get this gratifying instant boost of dopamine, and it's like mental masturbation to them. I don't understand it. There's people I've helped, and I don't need to put it on Facebook, and I can say it loud and proud all day, every day. And that's the way it should be. We need to get back to how things used to be. You can help people. You don't have to go and brag about it to everybody. You don't have to brag about it to the world. No, Jared, you're just jealous of what all these other people are doing. No, I'm not jealous at all. I'll admit from time to time I compare my life to other people, and I shouldn't. And I'm working on that, and I'm striving to work in opposition to that. But when we have dumbass people who are coming on saying that just because you can't be the captain doesn't mean you get to sink the ship, that is absolutely repugnant and asinine. And it only illustrates my point to a fucking T. Every single time that we have some jackass who comes along and he cares more about making it about himself and getting his popularity and notoriety, and it boosts his ego, this shit is getting old. And it's one of the reasons why I don't really talk about childhood cancer all that much on Facebook anymore. Because if that's the direction that we're taking, I want no part of it at all. Now, I have an appointment. I mentioned this just a few minutes ago, that I have an appointment with Dr. Scott. That's on May 15th. The reason I'm getting this information, or going to try to get this additional information, is not only for myself, but for other people who are affected by Wilms tumor. Because the more knowledge that I have for myself, the more that I can return that back to other people who are going through similar situations. Children have died from Wilms tumor. Wilms tumor has the capacity to metastasize in the lungs. It has, and it can, and it will. If it's aggressive enough, it can. Children have died from Wilms tumor. And although the chances of surviving Wilms are actually fairly good in comparison to most other childhood cancers, it doesn't take away or remove the statistics of children who have died as a result of Wilms. It doesn't take away, it doesn't lessen that anymore. These are still these instances of children dying. It still happens. Just because you don't hear about it often doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. And that's one of the main things I try to discuss, or I have tried to discuss in the past, about childhood cancer. There are some cancers that are more aggressive than others, but just because some cancers are more aggressive than others, it doesn't mean that the less aggressive cancers don't have the capability or the capacity to kill. And they have. So I'm rambling. You want to shut that door? Hey!
What?
I'm trying to. I could hear you guys talking in there. I'm trying to talk over you. I don't know if they heard, but I'm trying to get this done and out of the way. I got to make deviled eggs. And I got to mash potatoes. Where are you going?
I got a gas station. Potatoes are still boiling, almost done.
Okay. Did you turn the heat down?
Yeah, I turned it down 7.
Okay. Well, turn it down to medium. You don't want them on high because then they'll overflow and get all over the stove. But yeah, that's where I'm at with a lot of things. I know I kind of rambled here a little bit. I ranted, but that's good. I think it's good that I share my ideas and to the people who say that, well, Jared, it's one sided with Jared because he disabled the comments on his videos. No, I disabled the comments on my videos because people can't be civil. They can't come on my channel and have open, honest discussions. And as if the thumbs down shit really bothers me, it doesn't. It's irrelevant because I keep coming back every week. And it just keeps people busy with thumbing down all my videos. It just gives them something to do because obviously they have no life.
I'll be back, son.
Okay. But yeah, I don't want to give too much credit and credence to people who don't deserve it. They're not worthy of it. But it is just like that. There's a lot of dipshits who are passing themselves off as advocates and activists, and they're only making it about themselves. I've been wanting to talk about this for the past couple weeks, and I get sidetracked and carried away with other business. But that's really and truly the case of what's happening in the world of pediatric cancer. You have people who like to brag and showboat more than anything. And I was just having this discussion with one of my friends. Her son is a childhood cancer survivor of brain cancer. And I told her, I said, I really don't care for the way that a lot of these parents are exploiting their kids just for a little bit of national popularity. And I agree that childhood cancer does need the national attention and the traction so that way we can get funding for research and cures. I'm not taking away from that at all. But as of late, I've been seeing a lot of, they got to meet this famous celebrity, and they're getting, you know what? It's childhood cancer is not glamorous, and you wonder why nothing gets done because the outside observer, they're not seeing the real raw side of what childhood cancer is. They're only seeing smiling bald kids. They're seeing childhood cancer fighters who are meeting famous people, and they're getting all this attention and notoriety and glamour. They're not seeing what's actually going on the other side of the curtain. They're getting false ideas, which is why, it's no big deal. Childhood cancer is a big deal. It's happening now, and innocent lives are being lost as a result. And we really need to change a lot of things, but we can't do that if we're going to make this into a showcase of, look at me, I'm so extravagant, I'm so important. And this is where I have a problem with people who hold certain people superior over everybody else who's trying to do anything, either to help families or to raise awareness or help get the word out. Because when you hold certain people to higher standards, you are in fact part of the problem of what everybody's trying. We're all working together. We're all trying to do things. We're not all working together, I guess. But we're all trying to do our part in raising awareness and getting the word out. When you hold certain people to higher standards over everybody else, you're not doing anybody any favors. You are a part of that problem. And this is why on Facebook, and I try to be as civil and nice about it as I can be, but there is no civil, nice way of saying this. Stop holding certain people superior over everybody else who's doing things. You want to know why things don't get done? Because you're only seeing certain, the outside observer is only seeing certain individuals. The childhood cancer world is quite large. Whether you're like me, a survivor of 30 years or more, it's quite large. There are lots of us out there, and that's one way of excluding the word rare in the same sentence as childhood cancer, because there's nothing rare about childhood cancer, nothing. And I'm so sick and damn tired of this rare word showing up in practically every fucking sentence regarding childhood cancer. It's not rare at all. Even if I didn't have it, I would still be wise enough and activist enough to stand up and say childhood cancer is not fucking rare. And we need to remove that word from the equations regarding childhood cancer. There is nothing rare about it. You can't have you can't have the staggering statistics of cases annually and then still somehow mathematically come up with the idea that it's rare. No fucking way. It's not rare. Not by a long shot. And that's something that there's so much ground to cover, and there's so many problems that we need to suss out, and we need to, you know, loosen the kinks, because there's bad connections between people, and nothing gets done when we're constantly holding certain people superior over everybody else. I don't get that, and I'm not a part of it. I don't indulge in that kind of behavior. This only one person can do the things that nobody else can do. So that kind of puts everybody else on the back burner. And you know what? When you put people on the back burner, they don't want to do it anymore. They just zip the lip. They take a back seat and they say, well, I have information I could tell you, but seems I'm not Mr. John Q. Advocate. You don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from him or her, depending on the situation. Stop holding certain advocates to higher standards over everybody else. Everybody should be seen and heard. And I'm trying to shake that a little bit. I'm trying to shake the tension between people, to loosen it up and say, look, we're all in this together. We all have common, goals or common results that we're hoping for. We want to see, safer, less harmful treatments for children. We want this to be something that will be available to future generations of childhood cancer warriors. So there is a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of gab there, and I do apologize. But this is one thing that you cannot get me to turn my back on this, because again, a survivor cannot one day wake up and say, well, that never happened, or I don't want to talk about this, or I just want to shut this out of my life. I want that chapter of my life to be closed. There are lots of kids who do this, and I'm friends with lots of parents whose children don't want to be known as the cancer kid. I totally get it. I was in the same position as they are now. There was a moment in time, a point in my life where I said, look, I don't want this to be in my life anymore. I want to close that chapter. I fought it. I beat it. Here I am. I want to be treated like a normal person. You know what? When I became, I think, the age of 26, I realized, you know what? I am normal. I'm a human being who has feelings and emotional attachment to things that have affected me directly. And this idea that, well, you can have no emotional attachment because of how young you were, you don't remember. Bullshit. Nobody remembers what happens when you're put on, especially when you're put under anesthesia. At which point I would ask, what the fuck does age have to do with remembering things? You can't have no emotional attachment to something because you don't remember. I guarantee it doesn't matter what age you are. Nobody remembers what happens after they are put under anesthesia. Nobody. But back to what I was saying, it's childhood cancer was a chapter. I was in that position where, okay, I don't want to talk about this. I want this chapter of my life to be closed. I want to be treated like a normal human being. And guess what? I am normal. I am normal. I experience things as humanly as possible, both good and bad. But being a cancer survivor, instead of dwelling on, God, I'm a victim of this, I have no life. No, I do have a life. And instead of feeling bad for myself, I take that negative, I spin it into a positive, and I help other people who are going through similar situations. And there are lots of kids who say, well, look, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I want this to be a closed chapter in my life. I totally and completely understand and respect their position, because I am quite capable of having normal conversations with kids. Uh, we don't have to talk about childhood cancer. Just today, I did a video chat with Camden, who just turned 10 years old, and we were talking about what he got for his birthday, all the cool gifts he got, because he likes Pokemon. He's into the Pokemon thing. But we talked about some things. The video chat was brief, and we talked about, what he got for his birthday. And we didn't, not one mention of childhood cancer at all. Even when I was at his house last summer, we kind of talked about childhood cancer. It would come up in conversation, but it wasn't the total axis of my reasoning for visiting him. It's because there is love and compassion and understanding and a sense of family that I feel with those people. And they're already wanting me to come back, and I cannot wait to go back and see my family. I'm not even going to put the qualifier of extended family. No, they're family. They treat you like a family should treat anybody, and I love them. I love them as my family. But there's a lot of ground to cover, like I said, with childhood cancer, and there's a lot of problems that need to be fixed. We can't fix it overnight. We have to work cohesively, which that's not going to happen because there's too much bickering and too much drama and people who like to cause problems and people who like to spread gossip. So that's not going to happen. It's not going to be a possibility anymore because there's too much fighting and too much drama. And it's like, we're grown here. These children act more mature than a lot of you fucking grown-ups do. You sit behind a computer all day long or sit behind your little electronic device and spew a bunch of hate and bullshit about someone that you don't even know, but just because you want to get a little bit of, revenge on somebody. How the fuck can you get revenge on someone that you don't even know? That's mind-boggling to me. I don't get it. But there are people who actually know better, and they don't listen to the gossip and the garbage and the gobbledygook. They actually say, hey, where's your proof? Where's your evidence of this? You're making all these claims, but yet you have nothing to back your shit up. And instead, what they do, because they don't have empirical evidence, they don't have evidence that would prove the nature of the claim. Instead, they have evidence of the claim itself, which is not evidence in and of itself, which I've explained any number of times, and people don't understand it. They think, well, all these people are saying this, they're passing this around. Well, big fucking deal. It doesn't mean that it's true. You have to be able to prove the nature of the claim. There's no evidence for anything that they're claiming that is being said or done, supposedly that I said or done. That's why I don't lose sleep, because I know it never happened. I never said it. I don't know how much more clear can I be to say, show me evidence, show me proof. Like someone had recently just tried blaming my dad of asking for money. My dad doesn't ask anybody for money, especially people he don't know, people he doesn't know. He does not ask for money. He does not solicit money from people. No. And this person emailed me, and by the way, it's a parent of a warrior. It's a parent of a cancer kid. And it's like, well, a parent of a cancer kid or not, if you're going to come at me with bullshit saying that my dad tried soliciting money or was asking you for money, I want you to show me proof. Show me evidence of where my dad actually said this. And he says, well, I don't have to show you anything. Good. Then sit down and shut the fuck up, because I'm not interested in hearing any more of your baloney about what my dad allegedly did. See, I'm not like everybody else where I just believe things the minute they come out. I actually do some research and investigation, and I apply logic and critical thinking to things that most people don't. People don't like logic and critical thinking. They don't like it. They just want to have their cake and eat it too, and they want to have fun. They want to tarnish somebody's good name, and they want to tarnish a reputation. Um, and all I can say in response to all the gobbledygook and drama and gossip is that if any of this were true, would I be sitting here right now? In fact, I would be under investigation, which I'm not, for anything. So, I mean, it's kind of preposterous to me, but yeah, and I let that wound kind of heal, and I don't talk about it as much because I'm trying to get beyond it. I'm trying to move past it. And you have people who just, they're not well enough alone. They live empty lives, and they like to cause problems for people they don't like. And I've said this in any number of ways. You don't have to like me, and I don't care. But the minute you start running your mouth and saying I'm doing and saying shit that I've never said or done, then we have a fucking problem, and I will call you out. Because it's dishonest. And if you want to be known to the world as a fucking liar, well, that's on you. I prefer to live an honest, open life. And I prefer to drink Pepsi, which I'm doing now. See, everybody kind of went their own way. See, nobody's out here except for me. I'm the one doing all the talking. I'm getting no input. Amy, she went in the bedroom. Dad, he took off. I think we're expecting company to join us for Easter dinner. I think my Uncle Mark's supposed to be showing up. In fact, I think he's here. Is that him pulling in?
Yeah.
Uncle Mark's here now, so I'm going to wrap this video up really quick. I'm doing all the talking out here. You guys just kind of skedaddled. You split.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. So
I'll be splitting again here as soon as your uncle comes in.
But again, I want to wish my cousin Felicia a happy birthday. I want to wish my Wilms Warrior brother
Happy birthday,
Camden
Felicia.
and Camden, who turned 10 today. I love you, Cam.
Happy birthday, Camden.
Camden with a D. But yeah, Felicia and Camden.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Yeah,
and Jared.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, it's funny because my dad was born on Easter Sunday, April 6, 1958. Today is Easter Sunday, and it's Camden and Felicia's birthday.
Yeah.
Felicia's my cousin on my dad's side. It's my Uncle Danny's daughter. Her birthday's today. And, yeah, there's that fucking rotary phone again. But anyway, yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful Easter. I hope you have a wonderful week. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching another installment of the Sunday Video Update. I have been here for about 50 minutes. That's long enough. Or a little under 50 minutes, just shy of 50 minutes. But I'm out of here. I'm going to spin out before Uncle Mark gets in here.
Peace out, everybody. Happy Easter. Have a good day.
Yes, and have a good week. And I'll be here next week for another.
I'll try to be here.
I'll be here next week, which is the 28th, I believe.
If you do it early enough, I'll be here.
But anyway, I heard a car door shut, so I got to go. Much love. Peace out. Happy Easter. I'm out of here.